Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to my guys, gals, and non-binary pals all around the world. You've got Longwood Geek here, and I'm still at my parents' house. I have been at my parents' house since almost the beginning of the year. So I ended up with, a few weeks ago, my parents' mom had a doctor's appointment in Newport News. And as per usual, I came over to watch the dogs. Well, that day before, I'd gone to the ER because I wasn't feeling well, and I haven't felt well since like October, but it had gotten worse enough that I finally decided to go see the ER about it. And unfortunately, they found that my white blood count was elevated, but they didn't see anything else, so they sent me home with Augmentin. Well, I was taking the Augmentin, and on Tuesday, I drove to my parents to take care of the dogs, and because they have three little beasts that I help take care of when they go out of town. Um, and so Tuesday evening, I get there, they leave, I'm relaxing for a little bit, and I felt what felt like a lump in my right buttock. And turns out it wasn't a lump. There was rigidity, but there was no actual like lump. And so I'm like, okay, this is not good. This hurts. Ow, ow, ow. My only comfortable resting position, believe it or not, was my stomach and my right side because I could, basically change the amount of pressure focusing on that area at will. Well, unfortunately, my parents get back on Wednesday and I'm like, hey, Dad, I've made a doctor's appointment for, tomorrow morning, Thursday. Do you think you could run me? I don't feel safe driving. Dad was like, yeah, just make sure I'm up in the morning and we'll head out. So I did, made sure he was up. So he took me to Doc's. Now, the person checking me in for the labs, she's running through her stuff and she's like, okay, 98/68 for your blood pressure. And immediately, as soon as she said that, I went, oh shit. She's like, yeah, you've got a cold, clammy sweat, your core body temperature's down. Yeah, you know what? I think I would skip talking to Doc and just go straight to the ER. So I did. I walked out, said, thank you, Lisa, because Lisa was really good for this. Walked him back into the lobby and said, hey, Dad, we're going to the ER. And he went, okay. And drove my happy ass to the ER. Now, normally, and this is why I want to give many, many, many kudos to my father. My mom has handled, for the majority of my life, mom has handled my medical issues. She's taken me to the doctor's appointments. She's, been there. Yeah. And I'm not saying Dad was inactive during that. He had other stuff like taking care of my little brother and, just other stuff he had to do. So mom usually stepped up to help with the medical stuff. Well, in this case, mom couldn't, because she was not feeling good after all the traveling and the doctor's appointment and all that. So, I really, Dad was a trooper. I don't know many parents that do what my parents do, and I'm very, very appreciative of it. I know I'm privileged in that aspect, and I'm very glad that I'm still privileged in that aspect, that both of them are still here. So Dad gets me to the doctor's appointment, or to the ER, and I said, Dad, go home, just drop me off at the front door to the ER, go home, get some rest. I will call you as soon as I know anything, and we'll go from there. So I walk into the ER, I walk up to the check-in counter and go, hi, my name is blah blah, birth date blah blah blah, and I believe I've gone septic again. This is not my first rodeo. I've had sepsis twice before, and based on my vitals, my doctor's office recommended I come straight here, and I would agree. She takes one look at me and goes, Mr. Blah Blah, come on back here and have a seat with me. We're going to go ahead and start getting you, ready. I did not sit my ass in that waiting room. And normally the hospital that I went to normally is very, very busy. They weren't at that time. But even then, they never gave me a chance to sit down in the waiting room. They got me back there and got vitals going and got they're calling the doctor to prep. And so after about 45 minutes, they're like, yeah, you're probably going to need surgery. So let me call my dad. So I called Dad and said, hey, I'm going to have surgery. They're likely admitting me. Grab, my bags and, meet me, or just come on down and they'll get you back to where I'm at. So I went from the ER to the OR in less than 2 hours. This is one they told me that if I had waited too much longer, I probably would not have been walking away from, at least not without significant injury or impairment. So, yeah, I'm very grateful that my doctor's office, because here's the thing, I'd have gotten John with Doc and, wasted an hour or two, and that hour or two, according to them, could have killed me. The bacteria, I ended up with a massive abscess that actually hadn't formed a pocket yet, which is weird, but that's apparently one of the things it can do. It didn't have a pocket, but the skin around where all the infection was, the cellulitis, was hard and rigid. I mean, it felt like it was on fire, and it was the size on my right buttock of 2 of these fists. And the funny part is, the surgeon comes in and they're like, yeah, we have to circle where we're going to be doing the cutting. And they used to tell us to put our initials on there, but HR said that was a bad idea. So I just tend to write something else, because I have to write something. And so she circles this gigantic area and just writes, yes. Well, shit. So, made it into OR, and then to my room. And I was in the hospital for 6 days. Came home with a laundry list of stuff I have to follow. If you are grossed out by TMI, I'm giving you a countdown with my hand. Once it hits 0, I'm going to do a little TMI. And if you want to skip ahead, I will let so I'm going to count. I'll have a fist. When my hand goes back to a fist, I've stopped the TMI talk. So, basically, anytime I have a bowel movement, I have to take a shower. I have to go rinse off, clean that area thoroughly. And in fact, they give me Hibiclens to do the initial cleaning out of. At this point, I've really only got, there were 3 holes that she did. Well, 2 holes that she did, and 1 that my body was generating. So my body had started to tunnel out to get some of the infection out, but it didn't have enough time. And given the amount of infection and everything that drained, it would never have been enough to keep me from, shuffling off this mortal coil. But luckily, I did not end up with the anal incontinence. That was a possibility given where it was at. And basically, I had drains in my butt for 3 weeks. I just got the last drain out late last week, and so I'm just draining naturally. They had done Penrose drains. And so, yeah, I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. Like I said, not one that I would have walked away from if I'd waited too much longer. But I have been at my parents' ever since. My energy levels are, which is why I haven't done a lot of content. I'm hoping my energy levels will start building back up now that I'm through most of the Augmentin and all the other treatments. That's the one thing that just sucks right now is my energy level. No, I mean, lots of things suck at the moment, but the priority is my, the drains and the sitting and all that. I won't be able to drive for a while still, especially not over any distance more than about 5 minutes. I have to sit down frequently, which is fun when you've got down below. And I have to determine whether or not I need a pad or a diaper, depending on what's going on. If I'm going out and about, diaper. If I'm staying at my parents' house, then pad and underwear. It just depends. I have to choose. Is it going to be a heavy drain day or a low drain day? And what's sad is this is not the first time I've had to wear pads. I had an pilonidal cyst that burst years ago, and I wore a pad for 3 days because it just drained infection for like 3 days. So not my first rodeo there either. TMI over. And yeah, that's where I've been. I've been at my parents' trying to relax and recuperate and just overall feel better. And I cannot thank my parents enough for doing this. for making a space for me. I mean, they're both retired. But they took the time out of their day to make sure I had a place to stay. That, you know, I'm at my parents' house. It's one of my 4 homes. It's one of my 4 places I consider home. No, I'm not going to tell you the other 3 right now. That's a story for another time. But anyways, thank you for everybody as well that's checked up on me, that's sent me messages going, hey man, haven't seen you online in a while. Everything okay? You know, I cannot thank you guys enough. Knowing that people actually give 2 shits is some of the best medicine that you can have. And I've been getting that medicine. I've almost OD'd on it because of just how good it's been. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much. And there will be more coming from Longwood Geek. One of the things we're doing is we're cleaning up my house. And actually, believe it or not, staying at my parents' house has helped me clean my own house better, because now I'm walking in as if it's not my place, trying to figure out what needs to be taken care of. Because I have a home at my parents, it's the leaps in logic my brain requires sometimes is astounding. But this is a case of where, you know, because I can now, for lack of a better way to say it, because I know I have a place to land, I can treat my house as something that's not mine, so that I can clean it more efficiently and make it livable. Or not livable, but more livable, more comfortable. I don't have to dodge, you know, totes in the middle of the hallway. But yeah, as we do more, we're going up to the house tomorrow to check on the cats, feed, water, do a little bit of cleaning. I'm going to show my nephew, who's never been to my house before. I'm going to show him some of my video game collection. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. But as always, guys, be sure to let your geek flag fly. Peace out, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Oh, and one more thing. Check on your neighbors, especially if you have an elderly neighbor and you don't see people visiting a lot. Now's a good time to check on them. It really is. So, peace out, everybody.